Japanese American soldiers arrive in France and start learning the intricacies of parlez-vous. Then soon, they are on their way to the battlefront. Japanese American troops have distinguished themselves in the war in Italy, decorated for courage, and now a similar contingent is fighting in the Battle of Germany.
Altogether, 22,500 Nisei served in our country's armed forces in the South Pacific and Europe. 120 were from Hood River. 4 Hood River soldiers were killed in action.
Many of these men from Hood River had their names struck from the Wall of Honor, a billboard-sized structure that graced our courthouse, recognizing World War II veterans. It is high time to pay tribute to these brave men who fought gallantly, many times above and beyond the call of duty. Today, we're honored to have some Nisei veterans with us here today. And it is with great pleasure that I dedicate this brick on our Veterans Memorial to all Nisei veterans.
The sacrifices really meant a lot for future generation.
We tried to do the best we could, even though I think we were betrayed by the government. Some of us went to Salinas. The bus driver stopped at a cafe. He said he wanted coffee. The rest of us stayed in the bus and waited for him to come back. And when he came back, he said, Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. You know, most of us, none of us knew what Pearl Harbor was even, but we knew at that moment that things really come crashing down, that it's going to be tough on all the Japanese families, including those in the army, So we had a real quiet bus ride back home, back to the camp, and when we approached the campsite, it was much different. The atmosphere was altogether different. There were soldiers posted on appropriate places, and they were even patrolling our camp area, our company area. Shoulders, gun on their shoulders. I don't know if they had any ammo in there or not, but the atmosphere was entirely different. Yeah. From then on, it became a worrisome deal for all of us. They pulled all of us off any further training. They even pulled us off KP jobs, which was one benefit, I guess, but they literally don't know what to do with us, so we were confined to the company area. Though we were in uniform, they put an armed guard on us, just like the Japanese families when they were interned and trained. We were treated about the same way, even though we were in uniform, which is kind of a disheartening thing, You were in uniform and you're treated like undesirable at the best. And
I figured I was an American citizen, and that's my duty to volunteer. And I was glad to go. When I saw that barbed wire fence, boy, I felt really sad. They were in camp.
Military Intelligence Service trained soldiers stationed in the Pacific were responsible for translating captured Japanese documents and interrogating Japanese prisoners. General Willoughby called them possibly the most important single intelligence agency of the war.
I think there was communication between him and headquarters somewhere. It was intercepted by our people, and I can't remember which fellow it was, but anyhow, this MIS guy, he was able to tell the superiors what was in the message, And they gave the MIS a lot of credit for shooting his plane down. Because they were able to intercept the message, and they knew exactly what it was going to be. So things like that happen, and I think they begin to trust us a lot more.
On June 30th, 1943, the U.S. Army's 172nd Infantry Regiment, with MIS personnel attached, landed on the small island of Rendova in support of the campaign to isolate and neutralize the main Japanese naval base at Rabaul.
Water probably come up to above my knee, I think. Gee, I could see the bullets landing on both sides of me, you know. Both sides now. And then I was amazed. Well, I never expected to be shot at, you know. Then this thing on both sides of me was landing, you know. So when we got close to this coconut tree, we all started hugging the base of it, and that was a scary moment for us green people.
The 100th Battalion, attached to the 442nd Regimental Combat Team, participated in 7 European campaigns in France and Italy.
But going through the town of Epinal, it was a town next to a hillside like this, maybe a little bigger than Hood River or something. And you walk up through the street and so forth. And Germans are shouting distance away, and they were throwing in mortars. You know, those little small mortars, but a little chunk like that would kill you or hurt you. And once you get hurt, you're out of the business. I think it was October the 20th, 1944. I got hit. Went back to Station Hospital, Field Hospital, and from there I went back to Naples.
And I got, within 15 feet probably. And I see this German with that gun, rifle. He's looking toward where our men were down in the other way. And all of a sudden he turned his head. He saw me. He saw my helmet, I guess. And I saw him. And I had my rifle ready to shoot any time. And I think we both must have shot at the same time. He shot, I shot. And there happened to be a little rock in front of my helmet there. My head, I guess. He shot at me and I shot at him. My helmet rolled off. His bullet struck the rock and it glanced off and hit my helmet. But it didn't hit me. And the lieutenant, he was watching from down below. And he saw that, and he said, I guess he told him, he said, oh, there goes our helmet. He thought I was a downer. But I fooled him. I wasn't even hurt. I couldn't believe it myself.
After the intensity of battle, adjusting to coming home can be traumatic for any veteran serving in any war.
Every time I hear a rifle shot, I used to get the jitters, you know. What we used to call shell shock. You're accustomed to all that shelling, and it took a long time before I got over that. Probably 5 years. You feel like somebody's shooting at you. Sometimes you have nightmares at night. It's hard to get back to normal.
The only thing you gained is satisfaction of you served in the service, and that's about it.
An added tension for Nisei veterans was finding that wartime attitudes toward Japanese Americans had not changed, despite their battle record in Europe and the Pacific.
I was discharged at Fort Lewis and I came home on a bus. Got out of town and I had my uniform on and all my badges. And I was going to get a haircut before I went home. So I stepped in the barber shop there in town. And I had this barber cut my hair before I went to the army once or twice. And I seen the sign, "No Japs Wanted," on the window. And since I had the uniform, I was going to see if it was okay. And I waited for my turn. My chair was vacant, so I went up there and sat in the barber chair. And he comes up to me with a razor in his hand, and he said, "I ought to slit your throat." And I looked at him and I said, "Boy," I said, "you're worse than some of those Germans we fought in I just walked out. So happened that there was a captain, Captain Lawrence from Parkdale, that was discharged. He came from Hawaii. He walked in just as that was going on. He witnessed the whole thing. And he didn't know where I lived and who I was. But after I got home, he found out where I lived, and in fact, he walked the last 2 miles. That day it was snowing and he couldn't get up the hill. He walked up to my home and he apologized. He said he really felt bad.
I think we've really proved ourselves that we are just as good American as anybody else. That's what for the test was, I believe, is whether we're loyal or not.
I like to prune young trees. I like to form that tree the way you want it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Then you get that tree to shape up like the way, you know, you're kind of satisfied. It's good life.
Yeah, it's good life.